Hey, what is going on, my wax junkies? And welcome back to Steel City DW, your place for vintage cards and high-end wax. So back in November 2020, I submitted a vintage submission to PSA, about 20 cards, starting in 1952, 53, and 58. There's some great cards in there, including a 58 Mays, 58 Ted Williams, and some awesome 53 cards in there. So we're going to go ahead and do a blind reveal. I haven't checked out the grades on these cards. Submission just came in a couple days ago. I'm going to break this open and we're going to get started. Let's do it. All right, folks, so welcome back. I've done you guys the time saver of breaking open the PSA original box and just putting them here in a stack. They put this right on top of the cards. And one thing anybody who's ever submitted PSA realizes is they package them really, really well. And it probably took me 5 minutes, and I wanted to spare you guys that time. These cards, as you can see, were submitted on December 2nd. I think I actually sent them in probably around like mid-November, but they take a little bit of time, especially back then, to get them processed in. There are a total of 21 cards, and as you can see, let's see if it's on here. These cards were submitted at $10 a piece. Obviously, there's a little bit more for shipping and things like that, but these were that $10 submission to PSA that we are never going to see again, by the way. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a quick rundown so you can take a look at the list, and we're gonna pull these in reverse order. There's a Roger Maris on the second page as well. So 21 total cards ranging from 1952, 53, and 58. You can see some really big names on there and a couple common names on there. A lot of the common cards I submitted just because they look like really good quality cards. And then obviously some of the big names, I just wanted to get those cards slabbed, add them to my collection. I don't anticipate selling any of these cards. As you guys know, I offload a lot of my newer cards to buy vintage cards. So for me, these are going to stay in the personal collection. So let's get at it. So starting off, we have a Roger Maris that I submitted. I thought it looked like it was in pretty good condition. If I recall, I think there was a pretty significant crease down the middle of this card that it's probably going to impact the grade pretty hard. Otherwise, I was like, man, this could be like a 5 or a 6, but then it just, it's going to drop it down because of the crease in the middle of that card. So let's take a look. Yeah. So you guys can catch it in the light. There's a big crease right down the center of old Roger's face. Card still has a heck of a lot of eye appeal. Color on it's really beautiful. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm going to say probably a 3. I don't know how hard they are when it comes to creasing on cards, but because I'm not used to seeing them without the designator, I feel like, it's really tough to tell. So I'm going to say I'm going to guess a 4. They could have hit me really hard though. Yeah. So, I mean, they did. So anytime you get a crease down the middle of a card like that, it's really going to impact the eye appeal. So great card though. 61 Maris, that's one of his greatest seasons, right? Next I've got this would be a 52 Vernon Law. My grandfather was actually a huge fan of Vernon Law, and if you can tell by looking at this card, the corners on this card are really tight. The back of it looks beautiful. Let's take a look at the front. Front's not bad. I really don't see any like creases or anything like that. A lot of discoloration on it. Sorry, I got it upside down. Just trying at the grade, but I'm gonna say probably a 4. I don't know. That front's pretty off center. Yep. So came back as a 4. This is a great card. Love it. I actually have the Topps Archive autograph version of this from, I think it was like 2010. So both of these are going to be in my collection now. Really awesome. think my grandfather would be really proud on that one. Connie Ryan, kind of a common card. You know, Phillies. I think this was submitted because it was in pretty good shape. So let's take a look at the front. I need to stop flipping these over like this, but let's do it like that. There you go. All right, so Connie Ryan, way off center. Really nice eye appeal. Doesn't look like it has any creases in it. Some off color. There's some discoloration in it. Let's go with a 4. Actually, it's way off center. I'd say probably 3.5. 4. Cool. Ted Wilkes, another common card. Yeah, so relief pitcher from the Pirates. Again, I collect a lot of these old Pirates. 52, Ted Wilkes. I had originally had this valued at probably about like $40, but let's check it out. Front looks really nice. It is pretty off center, top to bottom. Otherwise, pretty cool card. Let's go with 3 because it's way off center. 3.5. Interesting. They're giving me half grades here. I'll take that over a 3 any day, but you can see there's a nice little crease on the dog-eared corner on the top. I'm happy. Guys, I'm just happy to be able to share these with you, honestly. Like, that's the biggest thing for me. The last thing I even care about is their grades on them. Sheldon Jones. Again, I think this was like another common Giants card. I thought it was in pretty good shape, so I assume this will probably way off center. I'm gonna go with, it's way off center. I mean, it's to the point of being miscut. I'm gonna say probably a 3. 4. Cool. Good. Higher than I expected, especially for a card that's that far miscut. You know, maybe they just labeled it as off center. Either way, interesting because it's kind of got that rounded edge on the side, but awesome card. New York Giants, teammate of Willie Mays right there. Next is Stan Rojak, card 52, and this one has a lot better color on it. St. Louis Browns. Yeah, tied the major league record for shortstops for taking part in 5 double plays in 1 game. Very cool. Not a player that I'm super familiar with, but nice eye appeal on that card. This is one that I actually bought online. I think I might have paid $20 for it, maybe 15. Let's check it out. I'm gonna say, actually, I think this one looks like it's a little bit better grade. I'm gonna say probably a 5. No, that might be adventurous. 6. Nice. That's cool, man. When you get a card from the 50s in a grade 6, you know, that's what set collectors are really looking for, is those like upwards of 6 and 7 grade cards. So cool. Stan Rojak. Bill White. I'm taking a look at my like pricing list that I had on here to see how much I like paid for these cards. I think this card was like $10. And this is actually making me want to do a full 52 set collection, except for some of those, you know, the obvious ones. Good coloring on the back. Let's look at the front. Front is like way off center, but otherwise it's a pretty card. I mean, got a dog-eared corner on there. I'm gonna say 4. Yep. Put on. Nice card though. Carl Erskine, starting to get into a little bit higher names that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Cool. Brooklyn Dodgers, you know, great card. Way off center, right? But good looking card. Nice eye appeal. The corners are crazy sharp on this card. Crazy sharp. Oh, you know, I was gonna say a 3, but like I'm gonna say a 4 just because they're giving me a little bit of leeway on these well off center cards. 5. Awesome. Cool. Even more leeway than I thought. Nice card. Carl Erskine, way off center. Hey, we're starting to get into the 53s now. This is an Eddie Matthews card, so let's go check out some Hall of Famers and less commons, right? Eddie Matthews, 1953. You know, this one's got a crease right down the pipe as well, but still pretty good looking card. Beautiful color on it. Corner's actually not bad. I don't know. Checking out that unibrow, maybe a 4, 2.5. Yeah, so I'm learning that they are much harder on the creases than I am. So that'll be good insight for me for the future for submissions, right? Know that PSA is really hard on. I just gave this one away. So this is a Bob Feller card. I actually bought a set of cards, and it had a couple Hall of Famers in it and some big names. And this was one of them. The cards actually like really smelled like smoke when I got them, and they had some stains on them, but I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. I think I bought like something like 50, 52 or 53 cards for like probably 45 bucks. Well worth it. And some of these are really nice cards. Again, no creases on this one, but it's got like scratches and a little bit of paper loss and then the stain. So I definitely understand why I would get such a low number. Interesting on the half grades though. All right, so next one is a Johnny Mize, 53, and pretty cool card. Probably in a little better shape than the Bob Feller was. I don't think this one is actually from that set. I keep almost not covering up the grade on them. This one's a little better shape. I can't imagine. Would the last one get 1.5? This is probably a 2 on the Johnny Mize. Super cool card. Classic Yankee. 3. I'm happy. Beautiful. Interesting because like all of my 53 cards seem like they have stains on them. Cool. Now we're getting into the big boys. This is a 53 Yogi Berra that I bought from Greg Morris Cards. You know, out of the big ones that are out there, I think they're really reputable. I've had a lot of success in getting cards graded higher than they even put on theirs. Not a sponsor, but you know, I highly recommend Greg Morris Cards. I'm actually a big fan of them over like PWCC and stuff like that. So yeah, 53 Berra. Looks like it's in great shape on the back. Front, it's got a stain on it right here, right here. Outside of that, corner's not too bad. No creases. 3.5. 2. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was probably higher than that, but I think that like this discoloration on it probably knocked it way down. This is actually one of my favorite cards of all time. Between this and the 53 Mantle, I just think that you know, one, I love the 53 design, the fact that it's all artwork and it's really, really well drawn. I just think they're cool cards. Hoyt Wilhelm, another. You know, he's one of the greatest knuckleball pitchers of all time. I think, if not the greatest knuckleball pitcher of all time. What more can you say about the guy? I'm really excited to have this in my collection. As you can tell, it's way off center, left to right and top to bottom. I can't imagine this card getting a very high grade. Again, it's also got a stain on it, but again, 53 tops, classic design, Hoyt Wilhelm. Let's just go in between 2.5, 3. Yeah, so cool. And that's got a really dinged up corner. So I'm learning that PSA cares a lot more about creases than they do about corners. And I cared a lot more about corners. Ralph Kiner, one of my favorite players of all time. You know, Pirates legend. He's, you know, what can you say? You know, he's one of the biggest long ball hitters of all time. Another one that my grandfather was a huge fan of. You know, I don't really even care what this card grades at. It's got huge crease coming down the side, but what a great classic card, the 53 Ralph Kiner. I don't know. probably a 2. 1.5, yeah. No issue. Great card. Bobby Shantz, you know, a buddy of mine that I also collect with, and he's a big Bobby Shantz collector, and I actually wanted to give him this card, but I had already submitted it back in like November, so like, you know, there was no way. But I do love this 53 Bobby Shantz card. This is, I think he was on the Philadelphia Athletics at the time, right? And I don't imagine this card's going to grade very high. You can see it's got kind of scratch marks on it. Maybe a 1.5. It's well off center. No creases, but I think it's probably like maybe like a. You might get a 1.5. Yeah, fair. Great card. Just wants to add to my collection. Hey, here we go. 58th Ed Williams card. As you can see, there was somebody must have like taped this to their wall or something like that. Probably had some like scotch tape on the back of it and ruined the card, but you know, the front of it is still beautiful. As you can see, what great color, you know, in that yellow, and it just pops. 58 Ted Williams card. I mean, it's probably gonna get a 1. It's got so much paper loss on it. All good by me. Beautiful eye appeal on this card, though. One of the greatest of all time. Speaking of another one of the greatest of all time, here's a 58 Willie Mays card. It looks like there's a little bit of writing on the bottom of it there. Card's well off center. Corners are pretty dinged up. Front, not too bad. You know, it's got a little bit of paper loss, and that might ding it up pretty good. I'm going to say probably a 1.5. Yeah, they gave me a 2. Perfectly happy with that. It's just a great card to have in my collection. Bill Mazeroski, Pirates legend. He's, you know, hit one of the greatest home runs of all time. You know, he's what turned the Pirates into a successful team back in the 60s and 70s. Still never regained that legendary status as a team, but card's way off center. Nice young dude. I think this is his second year in the league. Still a great card. Say probably like a 3. Yep. Cool. Herm Waymeyer. I think this was one of the more common cards, but it was I thought it was in pretty good shape, so decided to submit it. Pretty well centered. 5, maybe if I'm lucky. 6, love it. Investor grade. Whitey Ford, another legend. Yeah, one of the most skilled pitchers in baseball, even back in 1958. This is, I think, one of the higher number cards. No, it's a 320. 58, Whitey Ford. Cool card. 4. That corner down at the bottom is pretty bad. A little bit of a there's a crease on this card. 2. Yeah. And last but not least, 58 Yogi Berra. You can see there's a line down the middle of it, stain right here. Card's got a heck of eye appeal though. I'm gonna say 2. 3. Very cool. All right, guys. So again, this was my first vintage PSA reveal live. I'm going to be doing some more of these. I've got some 60s cards that I submitted not long after that. So I think I submitted them about 3 weeks after. So if you like these videos, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please, you know, give me some comments down below. What'd you think of the cards? What'd you think of the grades? Were they fair grades? You know, now that I'm looking at this, I got a cracked holder on this Yogi Berra. Is that something that PSA will own up on? Is that something that I have to resubmit for a reholder? Let me know. is it worth it? Is it something I should just hold on to? But yeah, look forward to talking to you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.